Welcome to the second part of the 2012-2013 ASB debates. Please refrain from cheering and/or booing and remain respectful throughout the debate. The second part of the debates will be in the following order: Vice President, then President, and please hold your applause until the end of the debate for each position. The candidates of each position will start off with their 25-second opening statement. They will then be asked 3 questions in which will be given a 30-second period to respond. This will be followed by a rebuttal period in which both candidates will be given an additional 25 seconds to respond. The candidates will then conclude the debate with an overall concluding 25-second speech. As a warning, we will hold up the green sign when there are 10 seconds left. I will be counting down from 5, and they will be given the red sign when time is up. We will now begin our debate.
I will now introduce the candidates. Please refrain from cheering until I have introduced each candidate. For Vice President, we have Angela Chen and Dustin Ching. And for President, we have Alton Lin and Tammy Sang. Can we please have the Vice President candidates walk up to the stage? The Vice President position is in charge of governing all ASB student clubs and organizations, administering and managing all school lockers, and assisting the other ASB officers with responsibilities. The candidates will now be giving their opening speech, with Angela going first, followed by Dustin. Please refrain from cheering until the debate is over. Angela, you can now start your 25-second intro. Your time starts now.
Hello everyone, my name is Angela Chen and I'm running to be your ASB Vice President. 4 words can very briefly paraphrase the job of the ASB Vice President: manage, gloves, and lockers. Having been a tutor, class officer, club officer, and currently in leadership too, I not only have the experience, but also the first-hand involvement with our current ASB Vice President, as well as the commitment and dedication to our school.
Thank you. Dustin, you will now give your opening speech. Your time starts now.
Hi everyone, my name is Dustin Chang and I'm going to be your next ASB Vice President. I've had so many leadership experiences in the past few years that I've been blessed with, and this year I'm serving as sophomore class president, which has really given me experience leading a class of over 500 and really allowed me the inner workings and to let me know what's going on, really within our school and our student body. And I think that being a sophomore this year and a junior next year, being an ASB officer will really provide for more continuity going into my next year as a senior, and we would allow ASB to jump right into things right away.
Thank you. We will now be moving on to the question portion of the debate. Angela, you will be responding first. How will you amend the club bylaws to inspire clubs to increase the size and scope of their activities? You may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
Okay, so right now we have a bylaw that requires 5 reading announcements per semester. But I feel that having a new bylaw that requires maybe one school-wide event per semester is what's going to really reach out to students, because we need direct interaction between club and students of the school. And that's how we want to increase the size and scope of the club activity. Thank you.
Thank you. Dustin, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
Well, we really have to think about the reason that we have clubs on campus in the first place. They're here to enhance the experience of each and every student here at Mission County High School. So I want to make sure that we continue to have club bylaws that all students can get involved in and have input in, because clubs are really here for them. So we want to hear what all the students have to say, and that will really benefit the students. And in terms of size and scope of activities, it's making sure that they're continually active and reaching out to all students and making sure that they're just really doing what they said they're going to do.
Thank you. We will now enter the 25-second rebuttal period. Angela, you may now add on to your own response or to the question, as well as Dustin's response. Your time starts now.
Ultimately, what we need is a bylaw, because if we just make a general statement, there's no way to follow up and make sure that clubs are going to do what we ask them. So by creating a bylaw that requires one school-wide event per semester, we can make sure that clubs are doing it, and if they're not, there's a way to not only enforce one for the next semester maybe, but show them that there's going to be consequences if they don't reach out to the school. Thanks.
Thank you. Dustin, you may now give your 25-second rebuttal. Your time starts now.
Currently, as it is, there's a lot of student events that are taking place all over the school every single day, organized by different clubs, leadership too. So I definitely feel that having each and every club do one big school event every semester would really overwhelm the student population. So I just want to make sure that the purpose of each club is really served for a different niche. I want to make sure that, they're really reaching out to students that they're targeted towards, and that the students that are interested in them can really take those experience in them.
Thank you. We will now move on to question 2. The current ASB Vice President has created and implemented the electronic locker selection system. How will you build off this work and use technology and social media to yours and ultimately the school's advantage? Angela, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
So this question actually mentions the locker system. I feel that the locker system is very strong. Since before we had a paper system, which was neat, but not as reliable as the electronic system we have now. We could also add a few improvements to our current system. One would be an interactive map that we can have online, where students can see if the locker is top, bottom, outside, inside, and also maybe even hire or buy a large server so that it doesn't crash us again.
Thank you. Dustin, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
I'm a really big fan of the new locker system that our ASB Vice President and New York curriculum implemented this year. I really like the way that's been done, and I personally think that, just being my second year here at Mission, that it's really made things more organized for me, and it was a less hassle-free process, and I got to pick the locker that I wanted, which I really enjoyed. And one of my main things is really making sure that the students know what's going on, opening up transparency. So I want to make sure that the students get a say in what they like about the locker process this year, and moving forward, what they would want to see, and really hear their input.
Thank you. We will now enter the rebuttal period. Angela, you may now add on to your own response to the question as well as Dustin's response. Your time starts now.
We can pass out survey type thing and find out what students thought went wrong with, or what students thought could be improved on with the locker system this year. But right now, if I would solve the problem of it crashing on too many people on the server at once, which is by renting more server space or a larger bandwidth.
Thank you. Dustin, you may now give your 25-second rebuttal. Your time starts now.
Well, I definitely agree with my opponent's point in expanding service to make sure it doesn't crash on us, but we also have to make sure that other needs of the students are being met as well. And there's choice in lockers. And I want to make sure that, as this question also refers to social media, I want to continue to expand the presence we have on Facebook and really make sure that we're a big presence on Twitter and just to really reach out to the majority of our student population here on campus.
Thank you. We will now be moving on to question 3. An ASB position requires a huge time commitment, more than often concentrating during inopportune times, like weekday lunches and weeknights. If you find yourself in a situation where you must prioritize either your schoolwork or your ASB responsibilities, what will you do? Dustin, you will be answering the question first. You now have 30 seconds and your time starts now.
Currently, I already have a lot of commitments on my plate, and that's really going to further my growth as a leader. Now, if elected to the office of ASB Vice President, I would definitely make sure that I would clear as many of those responsibilities as possible to really put my time and effort into being an ASB Vice President so that it gets the attention it deserves. Now, if that was tasked my schoolwork, which going to Mission it probably will, I would really kind of see what needs to be done most urgently, and if there's a pressing need for the students, or the lockers, the club, I would make sure that gets taken care of as soon as possible.
Thank you. Angela, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
Being ASB Vice President comes with a lot of responsibilities, and of course that means time and commitment. But that doesn't mean that you have to clear any responsibilities. Most importantly is prioritizing your work, as it says in the question. So I have responsibilities to myself regarding schoolwork, but I have bigger responsibilities to the entire school over clubs and lockers. And so ultimately, the school comes first, as I should have, as I have time at home to do homework, and if not, then it's my fault and I should be taking care of school.
Thank you. We will now enter the 25-second rebuttal period. Dustin, you may now add on to your own response to the question as well as Angela's response. Your time starts now.
Being an ASB officer is something that I've always wanted to do ever since I found out just what an ASB officer did. And that's what I kind of feel about being on stage here. And I'm a guy that's all about commitment. So if elected to the office of ASB Vice President, I would definitely put my full commitment into it, make sure that all 2,300 students of Michigan County High School get the attention that they deserve here on campus from their ASB VP.
Thank you. Angela, you may now give your 25-second rebuttal. Your time starts now.
Something that really helps me with time management, especially in a job like ASB Vice President, is having a leader else already. My experiences do include class officer, club officer, and just like everybody here has leadership experience. But being an L2 and working with EHAR is really what's taught me the most about managing my time and doing jobs right.
Thank you. You will now be giving your concluding speeches for 25 seconds. Dustin will be going first. Your time starts now.
Obviously, as a sophomore, I haven't had the opportunity to get a leadership period yet. However, that is something that I feel does not matter as much because of the scope of my leadership experiences so far. And I definitely think as being a junior next year, that would give me more perspective as the only junior ASB officer, as I would know definitely more underclassmen and be able to reach out more to them and really connect with their interests and what they want to see in the school. And really dedicate to Michigan Center High School. That's why I'm running for office. I'm dedicated to all of you, each and every single student here at Michigan Center High School.
Thank you. Angela, you may now give your 25-second concluding speech. Your time starts now.
Very simply put, being a vice president means time dedication, working with clubs and managing lockers. This means not only knowing and understanding the duties of the vice president, but also being able to carry them out efficiently and correctly. Ultimately, I want to improve on what our current ASB vice president has accomplished by creating more club interaction and involvement in the school and simplifying our online locker system. Please vote Angela Chen for ASB vice president. Thank you.
Thank you. Candidates, you may now exit the stage. Now we will be moving on to the president candidates, Alton Lin and Tammy Singh. Please welcome to the stage. The ASB president leads the whole entire student body with a positive outlook and delegates situations that occur at the school with the other ASB officers. The candidates will now be giving their opening speech, with Alton Lin going first, followed by Tammy Singh. Alton, your time starts now.
Alright, MSJ, I'm Alton Lin, and I'm running to be your ASB president. So I hope this past week I've gotten to meet a lot of you guys and talk to you guys, and I hope you guys have learned about my knowledge, my expertise, being in leadership, my experience as an officer, and I hope you guys know what I'm all about now and what I stand for. And I hope to show you guys why I am the candidate to be ASB president. So I ask for your guys' support and listen to what we have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy, you may now give your opening speech. Your time starts now.
Hello everyone, my name is Tammy. I'm running for ASB president. So the biggest advantage I can bring to the table next year is definitely my extensive experience. I've had 4 years as president so far. Hopkins ASB president, freshman class, sophomore class, currently junior class president. Combine that with the love, the passion relationship I've established over all these years, and you have the perfect balance in ASB president. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now be moving on to our question portion of the debate. Question 1. What is a key area or issue in which you think our student government can improve? How do you plan on accomplishing this? Alton, you will be going first. You have 30 seconds. Your time starts now.
Something that I think we can improve on is attendance to athletic events. This year, there was a big step forward with the Warden organization, and I want to take that further because I know a lot of students are athletes, and it's really important to support them. And as an athlete myself, I know how it feels to be at a home game, on the court, and see more fans from other So I think this is a very important issue since especially a lot of our students are athletes and we need to support them. And so I think this is really an issue for us to take care of.
Thank you. Tammy, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
I definitely think that communication is always one of the huge factors that student body goes towards. And we made huge steps this year in progressing in that field. We've had the MSJHS website and more outreach days. I want to continue that progress. As well, I think establishing more charitable events, for example, students donating plastic coins, ball for bucks. These events really inspire student participation, also goes to a great cause.
Thank you. Thank you. We will now enter the 25-second rebuttal period. Also, you may now add onto your own response to the question as well as Tammy's response. Your time starts now.
So I think, definitely communication is a very important issue. But right now, our ASB class, we do a lot to reach out to students, such as outreach days, surveys. So I think we do a really good job of communicating right now. But the thing is, I asked a lot of students last campaign, and a lot of them still don't know what the World Health Organization is. And I think it's important that they learn to support our athletes because it's such an important part of our student body. And sports teach so much about teamwork and leadership that I think it's really important to support these people.
Thank you. Tammy, you may now give your 25-second rebuttal. Your time starts now.
I definitely agree that athletics are a huge part of the school that needs to be promoted more, but this all goes back to the key point of communication. Leadership is the one that promotes sports events, that tells you when to go, when to support your athletes. If you don't have a good communication base, if you don't establish that first, then there's no way you can get all these people throughout these sports games and support these athletes unless you establish that.
Thank you. We will now be moving on to question 2. Assume that there is a steep decrease in school morale. How would you ameliorate the issue and bring the school back on track? Tammy, you will be going first. You have 30 seconds and your time starts now.
I'm a big advocate of leading by example. When you lead by positivity, no matter what it is that your message is, it spreads. People will listen to you, people will be inspired to follow your methods. So definitely, if there's a decrease in school morale, the most important thing to do is to reach out to the students. You train your L2 class, you train everybody you work with to reach out, meet these students, to spread the message, to spread the positivity. If you lead by example, then there's no way you can go wrong.
Thank you. Also, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
I think all this comes back to leadership and knowing what students believe. In this morale decrease, what's important is knowing why and where the problem is. And I think that starts with going to the students and finding where exactly the problem is. And if you think they're stressed from studying or busy, things like that, then you know you can plan events to help solve these problems, such as stress-free days. Knowing when they're placed is very important. So I think going to the students and knowing what exactly is troubling them is the most important part of this problem.
Thank you. We will now enter the 25-second rebuttal period. Tammy, you may now add on to your own response to the question as well as Alton's response. Your time starts now.
Building on reaching out to students, communicating more, I think definitely stress is a huge problem still at the school, which is why I think it's important to figure out how to collaborate with organizations like Your Resource, like MSJHS, who are working towards eliminating this factor, and to see if leadership can work with them to create even bigger activities that really make a difference in student life.
Thank you. Also, you may now give your 25-second rebuttal. Your time starts now.
So as leadership students, not only should we lead by example, but we should act on what we believe in and solve these problems. So not only should the leadership class lead and know what the students want, but we need to go out and actually see what they want from us. One of the very important things is human interaction and seeing what exactly the problem is. And I think that's really key to actually speak with the students.
Thank you. We will now be moving on to the final question. What is your biggest weakness and what traits do you have that compensate for that weakness? Also, you will be going first. You have 30 seconds and your time starts now.
Something I would consider a weakness is my tendency to take risks. When it comes down to making decisions, conservative and taking risks, I tend to lean toward the risky side. And my ideology is go big or go home. You know, if you're going to do something, do it big. Why settle for less? Something that I do to compensate this is you look for opinions of others, you look to evaluate your decision more and see whether it's something that's suitable or not, and that's something I think that really helps in decision making.
Thank you. Tammy, you may now give your 30-second response to the question. Your time starts now.
Definitely one thing I've had to struggle with over the past few years is the fact that I'm somewhat of a perfectionist. I'm very detail-oriented. Not only have I had to look at the big picture as president for the past 4 years, I've also had to check all the little details. And in that manner, I've learned that you really can't get every single detail. You have to be able to delegate work, trust other people with doing their tasks. And through my 4 years as president, I've learned that you do have to be a balance of both. You have to look at the big picture, the small details. You have to be well-rounded.
Thank you. We will now enter the 25-second rebuttal period. Alton, you may now add on to your own response or to Tammy's response. Your time starts now.
So I believe we all these candidates here, we have a little perfectionist inside of us, and we've all come to terms with that. So back to my problem with risk-taking, I think it is a really important thing because not only do you learn from these experiences, you really grow as a person. Knowing when you take risks, what the consequences are, it really helps you when you make the next decision. And I think that's the most important part of a weakness is knowing how to learn from them.
Thank you. Tammy, you may now give your 25-second rebuttal. Your time starts now.
I think when you're choosing between learning to take risks and doubting yourself a little bit, it's always important to take the risk. You never know what you can accomplish if you don't go out and do it. Honestly, in the past 4 years, I've learned that when you hold yourself back, it's only hurting you. When you take that chance, when you take that risk, that opportunity, you learn what you're made out of, you learn what can really be done that's great.
Thank you. You will now be giving your concluding speeches for 25 seconds. Alton, you may begin your speech. Your time starts now.
When it comes to this election, I think what it boils down is willpower. In the end, all the qualifications, experience, all the candidates have that, but the thing I think that makes me different is willpower. This is something also known as perseverance, determination, because it's not something everybody has. Not everyone is physically capable of doing it. You know, sometimes when it's tiring, people collapse, and that's something I'll never do because I know I'll be the last one standing, and that's why I believe you should vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy, you may now begin your concluding speech. Your time starts now.
Serving as an ASB officer has been a goal of mine ever since freshman year. For me, ASB is unique in that you get to leave a legacy behind. Anything you do, it sets the precedent for upcoming years. Anything you change, anything you improve on, that's what future years build off of. I want to take your ideas, your suggestions, and make a difference here at this school next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, candidates. You may now exit the stage. We would like to thank everyone for being respectful throughout the debate. This concludes the second part of the ASB debates. Thank you everyone for watching.